The vast realm of Zen Buddhism includes 5 primary houses. The founder of Zen Buddhism is Bodhidharma, a 6th century monk who established the 5 houses of Zen. The basis of Zen Buddhism is a philosophical and physical combination which combines Mahayana Buddhism teachings and vigorous physical and mental training in daily rituals, including meditation. Meditation is centered on the concepts of mindfulness, living in the present, no self, emptiness, and the Koan meditation. Koan meditation is a secret study meditation which embodies the thinking of non-thinking. It is an impossible question to answer, and the answer has potential to inspire awakening. Zen Buddhism values the Koan meditation to promote stillness devoid of intellect and logic in order to gain insight leading to peace, interconnectedness, and ultimately awakening. Bodhidharma in 6th century Common Era was the Buddhist monk traditionally credited as the founder of Chan or Zen Buddhism in China. His biography is layered with colorful legend. Bodhidharma was a South Indian monk who traveled through southern China and then northward. He was most active in the area of the northern Wei dynasty, which reigned from 386 to 534 Common Era. Before Bodhidharma's death, he appointed a successor, his disciple Huik. After his death, Chinese Zen had 5 successors, all of which were, including Bodhidharma, named the 6 Chinese Zen patriarchs. These patriarchs caused controversy by splitting into separate schools of thought. Overall, one school dominated. The Southern Huineng school and Zen Buddhism became the largest Buddhist sect in Chinese Buddhism. Numerous Zen schools, or houses, began to branch off, each valuing the same basic principles but focusing on different techniques. Of the 5 Chinese Zen houses, most is known of the Huineng school. Kaodong is the mountain name of Huineng. This house focuses on sitting meditation and silent illumination techniques. During sitting meditation, one is seated with folded legs and hands with an upright, settled spine. The hands are folded over the belly, the center of gravity. One breathes from their center of gravity. The eyelids are half lowered, neither fully open nor shut, so that the student is neither sleeping nor distracted. Silent illumination is just sitting with only 2 basic functions. First, one should do nothing but sit. Second, one should sit in a mindful way, which emphasizes concentration on the breathing process for a pure mind free of distractions or impurity. There are also 4 other houses, but not much is known about their technique. They include the Linji house, the Guiyang house, the Faiyan house, and the Hunmen house. The universal Zen Buddhist conceptual foundation is the same throughout the various Chinese schools. Zen Buddhism is a branch of Mahayana Buddhism, aka the Great Vehicle. Zen Buddhism does include Mahayana philosophical lessons such as the 4 Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, Pratitya Samuppada, the 5 Precepts, the 5 Skandhas, and the 3 Dharma Seals, non-self, dukkha, and impermanence. However, the philosophical teachings are emphasized less in Zen than other Buddhist sects. Zen is neither primarily an intellectual philosophy nor a solitary pursuit. Zen temples emphasize meticulous daily practice and hold intensive monthly meditation retreats. Practicing with others is valued as a way to avoid the traps of ego. In explaining the Zen Buddhist path to Westerners, Japanese Zen teachers have frequently made the point that Zen is a way of life and not solely a state of consciousness. D.T. Suzuki wrote that the aspects of life are a life of humility, a life of labor, a life of service, a life of prayer and gratitude, and a life of meditation. An essential focus of Zen Buddhism is to bring awareness to the present moment at all times. This mindfulness or awareness with regard to our activities taught by the Buddha is to live in the present moment, to live in the present action. Also, whatever you do, do it well as you can, and be aware of what you're doing. When you are not asleep, be awake. Don't try to do 2 things at the same time. like pissing and cleaning your teeth. I've seen you do that. Perhaps you think you are saving time that way, but the result is no more than a mess in the lavatory and a mess in your mouth. No self, one of the 3 seals, is a large part of Zen tradition also. You should forget yourself completely and lose yourself in what you do. Another example of no self: the moment a speaker becomes self-conscious and thinks, I am addressing an audience, his speech is disturbed and his trend of thought is broken. But when he forgets himself in his speech, in his subject, then he is at his best. He speaks well and explains things clearly. The Zen monks taught that in every menial task there is something to be learned and something that a student can later meditate on. Another goal of Zen practice is to rid the mirror-like pure mind of any impurities. The empty mirror metaphor is as such. The empty mirror, if you could really understand that, there would be nothing left here for you to look for. If you stand in front of a mirror and you see emptiness, you are set. But this is quite hard to do. The empty mirror metaphor is one of great importance. Regular Zazen meditation is an essentially valued practice in Zen Buddhism. Zazen is a sitting meditation which focuses awareness on posture and breathing to remind one to remain in and concentrate on the present. Zazen posture is essential. A number of postures can be used in Zazen. For example, the full lotus, the half lotus, Seiza, and Burmese postures may be used. The student should experiment to discover which suits her or him best. Much patient practice and experimentation may be necessary in order to learn how to sit well and resist faulty posture. A main goal of Zen meditation is to remain focused on the here and now, concentrating on your posture and your own breath to represent your impermanence in the present, this being one of the 3 seals of Buddhism. Another purpose of Zen meditation is to meditate on emptiness. When the heart is empty, anything is possible, but we don't act like that. We love expecting a return, and we give anticipating a reward. This is far from emptiness. When we are not preoccupied with what we get, we are able to give. Meditating on emptiness also emphasizes spiritual freedom. Growing up is, of course, the process of elimination, not adding to what we have. Each moment of the past must be burned to ashes for the present to exist unconditioned. This means moving from the habitual to the spontaneous and from the artificial to the natural. In losing ourselves, we find ourselves. Enter the Koan meditation. The Koan meditation is an innovative Rinzai Zen technique designed to actively achieve many goals of a Zen meditation in one impossible exercise. A koan is an impossible story or riddle devoid of logic given to a Zen student by their Zen master. The student will meditate only on their koan, which is to be kept a secret. The master fully expects the right answer and asks for it in a private meeting daily. All koans are illogical and go beyond the reasoning mind. The monk may try to give a sensible answer, but if he doesn't, it will be just the same. The master will ring his bell, and the monk has to leave the room. Answering the koan is hard work. The answers which, after many years of hard work, despair, and near insanity, may be accepted will be diverse. Perhaps the monk will make a nonsensical remark. Maybe he laughs, or looks at the floor waving. If the master nods, the next koan will follow to deepen the monk's insight. There are many koans. There are rows and rows of koans, and the monk who solves them all has to leave the monastery to practice his insight in the world, perhaps as a teacher, perhaps as an inconspicuous civilian. The koan is tedious to meditate upon, and only when the student answers the koan correctly can a series of new koan mysteries be given, and hopefully the answering of the last koan will ultimately be followed by enlightenment and interconnectedness achieved through awakening. Koan in Chinese literally means a case, as in a law case. In Zen, it refers to historic exchanges between Zen people. The final phase in such an exchange is given to a Zen student as his or her special problem. The student works with the koan incessantly and meets with his or her master to offer a solution, not necessarily verbal, to the koan. Passing a koan, that is, satisfying the master with one's response, is a great moment in Rinzai Zen practice, and it sometimes takes years. The koan study is to be kept secret. It is a tradition in Zen that no one ever